Hello, everybody. So this week I just wanted to kind of talk about the home office deduction a little bit. Most clients are an S corporation. If you're not an S corporation, it's because you're growing to be an S corporation, or you have partnerships, and typically the partnership then drops into an S corporation when we get aggressive tax stances. When we talk about the home office deduction, the way we handle it is basically a corporation can't have a home. It's a piece of paper, right? So if you're in a sole proprietorship or a partnership, you can work from home because you are your business. But a corporation is legally and for tax purposes separate from you. Well, this legal entity, completely separate from you, doesn't have a home. It has to provide a physical place for you to work. So we take like rent expense or other things for the home office deduction, but we still follow the home office deduction rules. That way, in the event of an audit, we have something to fall back onto. So that's where that comes from. We've kind of talked. I usually talk about this with most clients. I've written a book where I talk about how to get aggressive on the home office deduction. But basically it comes from two rules of how you define business use square footage in your home. And the first rule is wherever you're physically operating your business from has to be 100% business, right? So that would be like your spare bedroom where your office is, where your computer is. It has to look like an actual office space. That's a pretty stringent rule. The IRS is very nitpicky on that. If they decide something's personal in that office under an audit, you're gonna lose. However, they don't just kick in your door and come audit you, right? So audits are taking place if it's going to happen. So you have time to move stuff around and make sure it looks appropriately for an audit. So that one, there's that rule. And then the second rule is if you have any business assets in storage, it gets to be commingled with personal stuff and you still get to count the space as business use. So like examples of that would be exercise. If you're a fitness coach and you have exercise equipment stored in a spare bedroom or out in the garage. If you're doing a blog or cooking, food preparation, your kitchen could be business use space. Your pantry could be business use space for storage of the food supplies. If you're a retail company and you store inventory in your house to sell on Amazon, Etsy, eBay, whatever, right? Then anywhere where you shove inventory, every nook and cranny becomes business use space. So if we claim your vehicle as business use property, then if you park that car in a garage, the garage just being business use. So that's a very flexible rule. That's where we can really get aggressive. But today I really wanted to point out one more thing. So those are the kind of the two rules that we follow for the home office deduction. But because we take the home office deduction rules as a fallback rule in the event of an audit, we actually fall underneath corporation rules for actual office space. And they are two separate rules. And the reason why I want to make that distinction is because we can kind of use both rules to our favor. For example, there is an OSHA rule that states you are required to provide a restroom for your employees. Well, typically, when you're looking at a home office deduction, most auditors consider the bathroom as personal space, and so you can't take it as business use. But because we're only utilizing the home office deduction rules as a fallback in the event of an audit, we can also then look at like traditional other corporate rules for our office space. So I was just going to show this, the OSHA rule. Let me go ahead and share my screen. This is the OSHA rule right here, talking about it's an OSHA labor law, sanitation. You're required to provide at least one bathroom if you have 1 to 15 employees. Like that is the requirement. That is the law for OSHA. Well, if you're an S corporation, and we treat you as an employee of your corporation, you now fall underneath this OSHA law. Therefore, your bathroom can also be included in the home office deduction square footage. So that is just something I wanted to show. There's ways to get more aggressive on how we write off your home office. So, because the whole point here is to redefine what are business expenses with the idea that we're able to turn a whole bunch of personal expenses into business expenses. That way we're paying for things with before tax dollars instead of after tax dollars like a traditional employee. So this is one way that we can redefine and add more use of our home as a business expense. So everyone should be writing off at least one bathroom as a business expense for the home office deduction. So that's all I really have for today. It's just a quick way to think outside of the box when calculating your home office square footage. Hope this is beneficial for everybody. Have a wonderful week.